If 2025 has been your year to explore nervous system regulation, somatic healing, trauma recovery, then stick around because I'm going to be providing a series of sorts on each of those topics. Now, just a quick little introduction or reintroduction. I'm Britt. I am a somatic experiencing practitioner. Somatic experiencing is a body-based approach to trauma recovery where we specifically work with the nervous system. So let's get into the first topic. What is trauma? So trauma, the upgraded science provides that trauma can be described as any event that overwhelms the nervous system's capacity to cope. And when this happens, the nervous system can become chronically ensnared or stuck in survival responses or survival mode, like a fight response, flight, shutdown, freeze, fawn, functional freeze. And I talk about all of these states here on my page. Now, think of it this way. It's like your nervous system is like a security system, okay? Always working in the background, subconsciously to protect you outside of your mind's awareness. And when your nervous system is stuck in survival mode because of an overwhelming or traumatic event or experience, it's as if you have a faulty security system, one that is constantly alarming for threat, even though threat might not be present. So healing then necessitates that we work with the nervous system to get that nervous system unstuck or regulated. We do this in a number of different ways, which I will talk about when we get into the nervous system and the somatic healing video, but those are kind of the basics. So trauma is predominantly experienced, stored, and relived through the body, which means that healing first starts within the body. Now, traditional therapy, cognitive, behavioral therapy, talk therapy really holds this perspective that we start with the mind, we start with the story. But the nervous system operates from the subconscious, subcortical part of the brain, not from the conscious, cognitive, cortical part of the brain. So in order to regulate the nervous system, we use the language of the subconscious brain, which is somatic. Soma means body-oriented, and the language of the nervous system, or our somatic language, is our emotion, feeling, sensation, and impulse in the body. So there will be another video where I talk about, again, somatic healing, and that's going to be an introduction into how you do some of that work. But the reason that we start with the body, again, body first approach, is because only when the nervous system is regulated and when that threat detection has been turned off or that threat alarm has been turned off, does the conscious cortical mind come back online. You see, when we're stuck in survival mode, you can think of it as what Dan Siegel, a very famous psychotherapist, says, is that it's like we have flipped our lid. Okay, this is our brain. You have your cortex here, which is your talking, thinking, cognitive, rational brain. You have the amygdala, which is the threat center, okay, the survival center. And down here is the cortical brain, which is the limbic emotional brain, and the reptilian brain, which is impulse, okay, and reaction. Now, when we experience trauma and when the amygdala is activated, that threat center, what happens is our conscious cortical brain goes offline, we flip our lid, and the irrational survival brain takes over. Now, in order to get this thinking, talking, meaning-making part of the brain back online, we have to be able to regulate and disarm this amygdala. And we do that through, again, our cortical somatic language, which is through the body. So in other words, we kind of have to feel it to heal it. After we have done somatic processing, okay, and gotten ourselves unstuck from that chronic threat response, then what happens is naturally the cortical conscious brain, cognitive brain, begins to come back online, which is then a great time to start doing some of that cognitive talk therapy. Okay, so that's just kind of a broad overview of trauma and how the nervous system kind of, again, intersects with the work that we do.